Good evening. I'm talking chapter 9, group different nations and technology in chapters. Chapter 9. It talks about to make good lessons, you must understand your students and adapt to it to meet their diverse needs. What it's basically talking about, we got to meet our kids' needs. And it's very important that we understand our students as teachers, that we meet their needs where they're hurting at, and that we learn to maintain a concepts or skills for those students. And you must know how to adapt your instructions to the students' levels of knowledge. You know, understand their knowledge, understand their understanding of the lesson that you're giving to the student. You must motivate students to learn, manage students' behavior, and group students for instructions, assess the students in learning. For me, example, I teach pre-AP world history at McGee High School, and I'm a motivator all the way from head to toe. I motivate my students knowing that, hey, it's very important to do good, and I tell them that you must stay motivated, and I motivate my students in a fantastic way, and they love it. And it talks about in this chapter now, it talks about the model of school learning for qualities of appropriateness and sensitive in the time. It also talks about product of quality for curriculum and lesson to presentation. I also talk about the level of instruction. The level of instruction is appropriate when a lesson is neither too difficult nor too easy for students. So basically, what it's talking about, don't make it too difficult, but make it where they understand it, but they also challenge their mind that, hey, I can do this. Hey, I got to focus more on this where I know I can get it if I just put more effort into it. It also talks about the time of the amount of time to learn the material being taught. It also talks about no matter how high the quality of instruction, students will not learn a lesson if they lack of necessary prior skills or information. What it based on about the lack of skills and information, we don't really know our students. We don't know our students' lack of information or skill. So we must understand their skill or information that they're lacking. If they lack of motivation, you have a lot of students today in this generation lack of motivation learning because they think learning is so boring. It's so what we need to learn for, and that's the hard part for teachers. But for me as a coach, motivation is no problem for me. I motivate my students in a powerful way, and just make sure they understand what we're talking about in the classroom. It also talks about how students group to account achievement differences. Between class ability grouping is within class ability grouping. The primary purpose of ability grouping is to reduce the range of student performance levels that teachers must deal with so they can adapt instructions to the needs of a well-defined group. It also talks about what are the most aspects of tracking as well. It also talks about found that even in high school where students are technically given a free choice of academic levels. African American Latino students disproportionately end up in low level classes, and that's honest truth. I come from the city of Memphis, and the city schools in Memphis, Tennessee is very below class for African Americans, Latino students, and sometimes for your white Americans as well. And it's a sad economic problem in the low public school system, and you can see it here in McGee as well. Country town, and it's a hard struggle to stay above water in some areas for some students. You can see in the students the way they're dressed, and they don't have what other students have because of the low level classes, and that takes an effect and a toll of their learning ability because they don't have the parents at home to teach them that because their parents are trying their best to just to put food on the table, and it's hard for them to learn when they come home to siblings who are hungry and don't have that much clothes to put on every day or take a bath. It's hard for students as well. And last but not least, it talks about technological and learning. It talks about the software allows students to operate within a simulated environment, and by doing so, learn about the environment from the inside. It also talks about problem solving. Problem was the Jasper series in this program. Students were shown videos in which a character Jasper Woodbury faced a series of challenges that require applications of mathematics and thinking skills. So basically, chapter 9, it just breaks down some different areas of the education field, talking about technology and the model of talk about the model of students and how should we model students in a way of learning and lesson plans. So chapter 9 was a good chapter for me, and it caught my eye, and this is my presentation for you for Chapter 9 and Project. I want to say thank you and thank you.